What is up, YouTube? Welcome to PanFro Games, and in today's video, we're going to break down the brand new Greninja raid for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I'm going to tell you the best Pokemon that you should build. We're going to break down the Pokemon itself and even showcase a little highlight of a 3-turn kill on this new 7-star raid. Of course, guys, you're new to the channel, like this type of content, please leave a like, subscribe if you're new. I really appreciate it. So Greninja is officially confirmed to be a mixed attacker with a Tera poison to it. And the mixed attacks it has is Gunk Shot and Night Slash for the physical. And Night Slash is a threat because it has a high crit rate. And then special, Hydro Pump and Ice Beam. And then it has 2 setup moves. It will start the fight with Toxic Spikes. And then it'll use Double Team. And it'll actually repeatedly use Double Team throughout the fight. The longer the fight goes on, the more it will use Double Team. I usually see between 1, 2, or 3 Double Teams going off, which makes this Pokemon an absolute trickster. I would say this Pokemon is definitely the weakest of the 3 we fought so far out of Charizard and Cinderace, but this Pokemon with Double Team, making it so you miss, is pretty brutal, but we have some ways around that. And his ability is Protein, which honestly is not a big threat, but the big issue with this Greninja is, 1, it will remove your stat buffs, usually on sometime during turn 3, maybe early turn 4. I've even seen it happen on turn 2 if you have a lot of lag. So that is going to be the big thing. And another thing, it will remove its debuffs on itself after doing that, maybe like a turn or 2 after, definitely right before it puts its shields up. The big thing about this Greninja is it does hit pretty hard. However, there's a lot of great counters to it. The big things are Gunk Shot can poison you, so poison type Pokemon are definitely great for this. Night Slash has a high crit rate, which crits will go through any defense boost, and like something like Reflect, which is pretty devastating. Special moves like Hydro Pump, yes, that is stab. Hydro Pump will miss a good amount of time too. So accuracy is a big thing. Yes, it's going to be hard for us to hit the Greninja, but it's going to have a hard time trying to hit us too. So that is something we're going to keep in mind. One other thing, Toxic Spikes can be annoying. When your Pokemon does faint and come back, it will get hit by Toxic Spikes unless it is immune to poison. By being a poison type Pokemon cannot be hit by Toxic Spikes. So keep that in mind. So that's our general breakdown of this Greninja. Overall, really frail, fast Pokemon. There's pretty decent damage, but the hardest part about it is actually hitting it and killing it. But if you can hit it, you will kill it. And now we have 7 Pokemon to break down. Our first 2 are going to be our big damage dealers that will destroy Greninja. And number 1, the best one, is going to be Slowbro, which we're going to be Tera Psychic for, and we're going to be giving it a Life Orb. And a Life Orb is actually very important because Slowbro is a Pokemon that can defeat the Greninja in 3 turns if you have the proper team. However, you can also solo. If you're doing a solo build with Slowbro, you could go with a Twisted Spoon, or you could go with Leftovers. You could pick it up from there, but Slowbro can solo Greninja. It will just take a lot longer than with playing online. So we are going to be going max HP, max special attack with a modest nature. Your ability does not matter. The 3 moves that do matter is Nasty Plot, Stored Power, and Iron Defense. Slack Off I like just to heal myself. It's better than using a healing chair if no one else in the party needs HP. So the big thing here is how Stored Power works. It does more damage based on the more buffs you have. Iron Defense will give you 2 defense and will increase Stored Power's damage from 20 to 60. Nasty Plot will also do it. It's +2, increase from 20 to 60. So you just keep on stacking and stacking and stacking and stacking. And it's also a stab move. So this is going to do a lot of damage. And you can actually win on turn 3 with Slowbro with the right setup. All you have to do is 1 Iron Defense, 1 Nasty Plot, and 1 Stored Power if you have the right teammates. So this thing is completely lethal and potent. It is very powerful, and you can solo with this, like I said. The big thing is just making sure you Iron Defense first so you can make sure you live the Night Slashes. If the Night Slashes don't crit you, you can take 3 Night Slashes for sure without dying. If you do get crit, you can take 1 crit and 1 regular Night Slash, and then the next one will kill you no matter what. You cannot take 2 crits, but most likely you won't get critted twice. But we will showcase the Slowbro one-shot build at the end of the video. That's very exciting stuff. I'm very proud of that research that we did on that live on stream. So this thing is absolutely a monster. And like I said, Life Orb is very important because Twisted Spoon is a roll on the guaranteed kill. Life Orb is a guaranteed kill every single time, which is very important because sometimes you hit him, Twisted Spoon, he survives with a little bit. And then you have to go through his shield. It's very annoying because then he removes your buffs, then he undoes his debuffs, and then, it just takes so much more time. So it is very important that you have Life Orb. Now, if you don't want to build Slowbro, you could build Vaporeon. Vaporeon is like the Diet Coke of Slowbro. It does the same thing, but worse. Once again, we're going to be building max HP, max special attack, modest nature, Calm Mind, Acid Armor, Stored Power, and Fake Tears. And the ability is actually useful. Water Absorb means if it hits you with Hydro Pump the Greninja, you will get your HP back, which is actually pretty nice. So you have one advantage over Slowbro there, and you're not weak to Dark. However, the big thing is you don't get Nasty Plot. And that sort of sucks because, yes, Calm Mind does increase your special defense, which is pretty nice. However, the only special attacking moves Greninja has is Hydro Pump, which you get HP back from, and Ice Beam, which you do resist. So Calm Mind doesn't really matter for you too much. It gives you the special attack boost, is what we really care about. The big thing is, I'd rather have +2 special attack than only +1 special attack and 1 special defense, because the damage multiplier, you're essentially losing 50% of your damage multiplier here. But it still works, but you cannot one-shot on turn 3 with Vaporeon like you can with Slowbro. Or at the very least, you will need much more setup. Something I do like about Vaporeon is Slowbro does not have his Fake Tears, so you can be a pseudo support. So let's say you go into a raid battle and you're like, oh, someone locked in Vaporeon, someone locked in Slowbro. Well, I'm going to be the bigger man here, and I am going to use Fake Tears. I don't need a main character. I don't need a protagonist. We're here to win. So I'm going to use Fake Tears and lower that special defense of Greninja by 2 and let that Slowbro set up. And honestly, that's great. So I do like the flexibility of Vaporeon in random online raids. However, if you are coordinating your friends, Slowbro is going to be better every single time. So just keep that in mind. And I run Twisted Spoon on it because Vaporeon is not as bulky as Slowbro at the end of the day. And Life Orb damage, I just don't think it's worth the bulk personally that you would like deal damage to yourself. I'd rather have more survivability on Vaporeon just because you are a little bit more frail. I go Tera Psychic as well. Doesn't really matter because if things go well, you kill in like 2 stored powers at the end of the day. And yes, Vaporeon can also solo Greninja. I would just recommend putting like leftovers instead of Twisted Spoon for that extra survivability. Now for our supporters, and this is where a lot of Pokemon shine, and I love this raid for this because we get to showcase 5 support Pokemon. Now the first one is my personal favorite, which is Umbreon, the absolute Giga Chad of a supporter. This thing has base 110 defense, 130 special defense, and I think like 95 HP. This thing should be built for any raid series ever. It gets both Screech and Fake Tears, Reflect, Light Screen, Helping Hand, Charm, Moonlight, Skill Swap. It gets so many great utility moves, and of course, we're going to be using it here. So I will recommend Wide Lens for all the support Pokemon. Big reason, the Greninja has Double Team, increases the invasion, which means we can be missing our moves, and we cannot afford to miss moves as support Pokemon because our killers cannot kill if we don't debuff, and that's on us to do this. So what I have on my Umbreon is a max HP, max defense. You can also run max HP, max special defense. My main reasoning for going for max defense here is honestly, Gunk Shot is going to do more damage to us than Hydro Pump at the end of the day because we have a higher base special defense. So our defense stat does need more work, and I go with a Bold Nature for that reason too, because we just naturally have more special defensive bulk on Umbreon. But you can also split this in half too. You could go like 50% into defense, 50% into SPDF. Both are going to be totally fine. All these Pokemon are built to support Vaporeon and Slowbro. So the big thing that threatens Slowbro and Vaporeon, in my opinion, is going to be Gunk Shot and Night Slash, which is why we're going to bring Reflect. Reflect is incredibly important. Turn 1 Reflect is going to do wonders for the raid. It's going to be so helpful for your setup Pokemon that essentially gives everyone a free +2 defense bonus. Now, Helping Hand is going to be incredibly important for your Pokemon to kill. So like Slowbro is about to do the final hit. He set up an Iron Defense and a Nasty Plot. You know he's going to go for Stored Power next. You Helping Hand him to give him that additional damage boost. Same thing for Vaporeon. always want to give that additional damage boost. The damage boost matters a lot. Now, Fake Tears is going to be massive too. Fake Tears lowers the special defense stat by 2 because Vaporeon and Slowbro are both special attackers. We want to get that Greninja to -6, so we need 3 Fake Tears to do this. Now, if you're playing with a full team, if every Umbreon or whatever Acid Sprayer is hitting and they all hit, that means that Greninja is at -6 on 1 turn. That's massive. Now, for this last slot, you have a lot of options here. You could put Charm, you could put Light Screen, you could put Moonlight. It's really going to be up to you what you want to put in this last slot. At the end of the day, Reflect, Helping Hand, and Fake Tears are going to be phenomenal moves, and this last slot is really up to you. I think Charm is good because it lowers a Greninja's attack by 2 stages. Just remember that Charm and Fake Tears will not work through shields, which is a big downside of Umbreon, but Umbreon does have insane bulk, and it does have a lot of general use, and that is why it's my personal favorite support Pokemon, and it's also the only support Pokemon on this list that gets Reflect. And I do think Reflect is really important to make it so your Pokemon survive the Night Slash and the Gunk Shot. Your whole team will survive with that. And next up is a support Pokemon that rivals Umbreon and actually may be better than Umbreon at the end of the day. Is going to be Qwilfish. In Qwilfish, once again, wide lens. We don't want to miss our moves when we hit that Greninja. So we're going to be going max HP, max defense, bold nature, because Qwilfish doesn't have the best defensive stat, and I'm mostly afraid of that Night Slash here. We resist water and ice, we resist poison, we don't resist dark, so we're going to build on the defensive side to prevent the Night Slash from destroying us. Intimidate is a valuable ability. That's the hidden ability. It's going to be very important to get here. It's going to lower Greninja's attack by 1 stage, and that's going to help out everyone on the team. The moveset we got here for Qwilfish is going to be Acid Spray. Now, Acid Spray ends up being the best version of Fake Tears because not only does it do damage, and who cares about the damage, because it does damage, it will go through a shield. So Acid Spray is going to be really nice, and it'll go through the shield. A little bit of chip too, but mostly going through shields is going to be phenomenal. So if you get into a bad situation, this is going to be incredibly helpful. Now, Acupressure is Slowbro and Vaporeon's best friend. You will target your friend Slowbro or Vaporeon, and you'll randomly boost a stat by +2. That also includes evasion. So you can make it even harder for the Greninja to hit your friend. But even better, if you get like special attack, that's essentially a free nasty plot you just gave them, which is going to boost that stored power even further. And because of this move, it actually rivals Umbreon, and you can make an argument for 3 Qwilfish versus 3 Umbreon to support a Slowbro or a Vaporeon. And our last 2 moves are going to be Minimize, which just makes it so it's harder for us to get hit, which is nice, gives us essentially some survivability, and Chilling Water. Chilling Water is going to drop the attack of Greninja by 1 stage. And it's going to do stab damage. It's not too bad, especially with Acid Spray. It'll do a little bit of chip damage, so that's actually a pretty solid move. And Chilling Water is definitely one of the best new additions to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Next up is Mr. Clodsire, and Clodsire is going to be going with a Tera Ground here. Doesn't really matter, to be fair, but Tera Ground just in case you get a situation where we're going to do damage. But we're going to be going full support with Clodsire, with max HP, max SPDEF, with a plus SPDEF nature. And the reason for this is, yes, we are immune to water because of Water Absorb. Yes, we are quad resist to Gunk Shot, but we are weak to Ice Beam. So there is one move we got to watch out for on Greninja's moveset, and that is Ice Beam. So this is so we can take an Ice Beam nice and well. I'm not too worried about the Night Slashes because we're not weak to it. We have 464 HP. We can definitely take some Night Slashes, so I'm not that worried. Now, this is support Clodsire. I don't think offensive Clodsire is that good. It gets clearly outclassed by Slowbro and by Gastrodon even, which I don't even think is that crazy of an attacker. And of course, Vaporeon. But support-wise, this thing is an absolute menace. And once again, is a Pokemon that gets Acid Spray, the best debuffing move in the game, in my opinion. Helping Hand to further boost the damage. When Slowbro and Vaporeon are ready to kill, you can help them clap those cheeks together by using that Helping Hand. Now, Mud Slap is really nice. Sure, it's not going to do a lot of damage, but it is super effective, stab super effective. But the important thing is it will lower the accuracy, and it will go through a shield, just like Acid Spray. So let's say, oh, the shields are up on Greninja and you already got the -6. Well, you can start using Mud Slap. Might as well lower that accuracy. Or, you know, it doesn't hurt to just throw in a Mud Slap here or there, because the more Greninjas missing your teammates, the better chance of you winning because your teammates aren't dying. And the fact that Gunk Shot and Hydro Pump aren't even 100% accurate moves, this is actually such a viable strat on trying to defeat the Greninja. And then lastly, once again, Chilling Water. Chilling Water is a phenomenal move because it will drop that attack by 1, which is great. And it doesn't matter about the damage at the end of the day. Dropping that attack, increasing the survivability, making it so you don't have to rely so much on your defense stat is always a great thing. And Clodsire is an absolute beast because of that. And once again, Wide Lens, you know, this item is important because that double team is such a problem. Next up is a Pokemon I'm sure no one thought they're going to see on this list. It's going to be Swalot. And shout out to my Discord server for getting me hip to the Giga Chad Swalot, because this thing is an absolute monster of a Pokemon. So Swalot has pretty decent defenses, but the big thing about Swalot is it gets Clear Smog and Acid Spray, which very few Pokemon do. And it has no weaknesses to Greninja. Armarouge does get both of those moves, but it is weak to Dark and it's weak to Water, and I'm not going to bring that to this raid, or it looks like I'm trolling online. So we have a big HP stat, so max HP, max defense, and bold nature. Big reason I'm afraid of Night Slash, right? Hydro Pump can miss me, right? So that's okay. Night Slash won't miss me, and it could crit. So we want to build with the max HP, max defense. Your ability doesn't really matter here. So as we already talked about, Acid Spray is the goated Spadef dropping move. Phenomenal, hits through shields. We also get Mud Slap. So once again, like with Clodsire, we can lower that accuracy, we can troll the Greninja a lot, make it miss our team. And of course, Helping Hand to further boost the damage of our allies to try to get that big damage off and kill the Greninja as quickly as possible. Now, Clear Smog is the reason why this thing is on the list, because these other 3 moves are all phenomenal, but this one's really unique. Clear Smog, the user attacks the target by throwing a clump of special mud. All stat changes are eliminated. And this thing is awesome because it's a single target move that does not miss. It has 0 accuracy, it does not miss. So if you use Clear Smog and Greninja, that thing could have 6 double teams. Clear Smog will hit the Greninja and will remove all the double team boosts, which means everyone can start hitting it. No more missed Sword powers, no more missed acid sprays. This is phenomenal. I would actually recommend the Swalot player to use Clear Smog on the Greninja on turn 1, and it's going to remove the RNG factor from the raid, and that's going to be really helpful, especially if you're going to try to go for a one-shot on turn 3 or turn 4. This is a very important move. Now, I'll also say Haze does not work like Clear Smog. Haze will remove the stat changes of every Pokemon, not just the one you're targeting. So this is why we don't use Haze in the raid. This is why Clear Smog is such a uniquely powerful move in this game. Now we have one more Pokemon, and that is going to be Gastrodon. Now Gastrodon, we're going to go with Tera Ground here because it actually is a mix of a supporter and it's like a supporter that can do damage essentially, but I wouldn't want to call it an offensive Pokemon. Now we're going to be going max HP, max defense with a bold nature because we are a little bit weaker on the defensive side of things, and we resist Gunk Shot. We are immune to Hydro Pump, and we are neutral to Ice Beam. So I'm more afraid of Night Slash because that is stab, and it does happen a lot. So that is why we built this defensively how we did. Storm Drain, whenever we get hit by a water move, our special attack stat goes up, which does sort of make it so we can build in this defensive manner, and Gastrodon can still get some big gains off its special attack stat. So the big thing here is it's another Clear Smog user, and it's going to be as good as Swalot, but it's like a Swalot that does damage. The big thing it doesn't have, though, it has no Acid Spray. So you're going to make that debate. Do you want Acid Spray? Then go Swalot. If you don't want Acid Spray, then you could go with Gastrodon. So Clear Smog, as we know, phenomenal move. Mud Slap, as we know, is going to drop that accuracy, phenomenal. And Chilling Water going to drop that attack. Now, Earth Power is really nice because it's actually going to give us a big damaging move. We're going to get a couple of special attack stats from whenever we get hit by a Hydro Pump. So this is actually going to end up doing quite a bit of damage. I mean, stab super effective, especially if you get like a Tera Ground off. You're going to start doing big damage to Greninja, especially if there's some Acid Spray users on the team. You can start benefiting from this too. But I'll say this, your role number 1 is a support. And then once you've done enough supporting, once you clear smog, once you hit a couple of mud slabs, maybe a couple chilling water, then go off king and hit that Greninja with earth power and do a crap ton of damage to it. And now for the last part of our video, the most exciting thing I found out on stream was how to kill Greninja in 3 turns. And we did it a couple times on stream and it was phenomenal. And I want to share with you guys how I did it. So shout outs to Matt from Discord for writing up the raid guide that we successfully did. And I'll be showcasing that after we go over this. So you need 1 Slowbro and 3 Umbreons. The Slowbro user on turn 1 is going to be using Iron Defense, then Nasty Plot, then Stored Power. And you're going to, of course, be max HP, max special attack with Life Orb. Now, the Umbreon users are all going to be max HP, and you can go max defense or max Def, up to you. And then using Wide Lens is very important because you don't want to miss your fake tears. So the first Umbreon is going to be using fake tears and then Helping Hand. The second Umbreon is going to be using just fake tears 2 in a row. And then the leader Umbreon has the most important job, which is going to be Reflect turn 1, Helping Hand turn 2, then Attack Cheer on turn 3. Now, the fake tears can still miss, obviously. A double team was set off, and even with a wide lens, you still have a small chance of missing. If an Umbreon player does miss a fake tears, then you gotta go for another fake tears. This will only work if the Greninja is at -6. If the Greninja is at -6 and you have at least 1 Helping Hand and the Attack Cheer, you will be able to kill. So yes, one of the Helping Hands can actually end up being a fake tears. So the first Umbreon can cover if someone misses. Very important just to pay attention to the animations. If an attack does hit, the Pokemon's animation will play out. So just look at your party and be like, okay, that Umbreon is doing fake tears. It is shaking and crying. If it does not do a shaking and crying motion after it says fake tears on the top of the screen, that means it missed. And we'll just dive right into the video here. But of course, guys, if you like this guide, please leave a like and subscribe. We really appreciate it. And I hope to catch you on my next raid live stream. It was pretty fun. Let's get it, guys. Let's get it. Let's get the turn 3 kill. Let's do it. Let's get the turn 3 kill. All right, Iron Defense. We're gonna get a Reflect up. We're gonna get some Iron Defense up. We're gonna get some fake tears. We're gonna get a Helping Hand, and bada bing, bada boom. As long as double team does not outplay us, we're gonna get this. Reflect is up. We're gonna be able to survive a Night Slash now. He did crit me, but that's okay. As long as he doesn't crit me a second time, we're actually completely okay. Hydro Pump, and he missed. Perfect. Even if he hit me, it wouldn't have mattered. And then we're going to get an Attack Cheer coming up, and I'm going to go for a Stored Power. And we got an Attack Cheer. He should be -6. Stored Power. Stab. Super effective. One shot, baby. And that's a turn 3 kill on Greninja right there. That was a perfect run. We even had a fake tears miss there, but luckily there's enough room for error to make up for another opportunity to hit the fake tears. And that is how you one-shot Greninja fast and easy with the Slowbro triple Umbreon build. And thank you guys so much for watching that. I really appreciate it. Of course, leave a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new. Appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys next time.